So I want to ask you, like, what were the fears that you had, or the struggles, or this and that, that I don't want to say held you back, but at the same time, it is kind of holding you back from feeling comfortable or getting out there and being that full-time real estate agent. So welcome to the Million Dollar Agent Blueprint. I'm very excited to have Christine Adkins with me here today. Not only is she a rockstar agent, but she is my daughter, my business partner, and a very successful agent. The thing that we're going to talk about today in our session is really, like, I want to call it the introvert alert. So, Christine broke through the barriers of feeling like an introvert, like, all the way through now, like crushing it, and in 2024, selling over 40 deals. So we're going to talk about, what is it that kind of holds you back? And then how do you break through that? And then how do you kind of continue the movement of moving forward, having continued success, and becoming the rock star agent that she is. So welcome, Christine. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Feeling good? Excited, ready for our time?
Living the dream.
Right. So I know that even coming on camera, exciting for you, or how does that feel?
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
For a while, you would be like, I don't want to do that.
It's not my favorite, but I'm here. It's fine.
You're here. Good, good. So, just like I was sharing, we're going to jump into these three questions, maybe spend a little time on it. Being your mom and your business partner, obviously we're going to have a little different communication style here. But Christine has been licensed, or we've been working together since 2009. And so
Yeah.
as we're recording right now, it's 2025. So quite a few years, like 16 years of working together. But you got licensed about 13 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so I can share, as the team lead, you were, and this, you were running operations, kind of, behind the scenes, running 85 properties at one time, very comfortable out there with the properties, and then running the operations on the back office and listings and, all of that. And but really started selling in 2022.
Yeah, like full time, full time. Yeah.
Full time, full time. So licensed 13 years, kind of selling a couple a year. So you were working with people, but
Yeah.
not necessarily going out and prospecting every single day. Is that fair?
Correct. Correct. Yeah. It was just like a part-time, wasn't my main gig, if you will. Running the office was my thing.
What's your thing? Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, progressing to selling a couple things a year. And for me, being the team lead and all of that, is something that you struggled with, really, wanting to put yourself out there. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. But I want to ask you, and anybody that's listening, like, I don't, oh, just because we have this relationship doesn't mean I have all these answers. And plus, I know that there's a lot of people who are nervous about, getting out there, putting themselves out there, and it can be a holdback where people think, well, I'm not that kind of person, um,
Yeah.
to get out there. But you're a shining example that you can move your way to
Yeah.
selling over 40 houses a year, and the biggest downturn year of 30 years in real estate is a huge accomplishment. So I want to ask you, like, what were the fears that you had, or the struggles, or this and that, that I don't want to say held you back, but at the same time, it is kind of holding you back from feeling comfortable or getting out there and being that full-time real estate agent?
Yeah, that's kind of a loaded question. I haven't really, did a lot of self-reflection to figure out what that specific thing is, but I think kind of off the top of my head, it is, fear of knowing what to say, even though I know what to say. I've had lots of conversations. Relying on real estate 100% of the time was not ever my thing. It's not ever something that I thought that I would do, which I love. But, knowing what to say, the fear of rejection, and then just having people, because my personality is just me. Like, if I could put no BS agent on my business card, I would, but apparently that's not socially acceptable. So just like that, people would accept me in the way that, I do business and care about people in a way that is different from other people, So I think that's probably some of the biggest thing, and just not having a lot of self-confidence in myself. Even though people can say 5,000 things. You're great. You're this, but to have confidence in yourself is something you kind of have to work on separately. So kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a lot of different things that you mentioned, which, just thinking about it. So it's like self-confidence,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what to say, and maybe being fearful. Did you feel like you had to be, I mean, did you inherently, like you had practice, scripts and knew what to
Yeah.
say? So you knew, did you know the scripts from practicing and then just nervous about being in front of them? Or like, was it, I didn't really know the scripts first?
I mean, I knew the scripts. Obviously, I had a great mentor and we're on a team and we, you know, did all this teaching and stuff like that. I know those scripts. Trust me, I know them backwards and forwards. But I think it's just the self-confidence of, I started real estate when I was 19 years old. A lot of people, even today, didn't take me seriously because of my age, right? Like they look at me and I'm a tiny person. So
Not tall. Is that what you're not
yeah,
tall?
I'm like just over 5'1" on a great day if I'm standing up straight. But just people just not taking me seriously. I think because of that, I've been told, and you can tell on people's face, right? When they look at you, they're like, "You're kind of young. Do you know what you're doing?" And I'm reminded by my fellow agents and my team lead that, or my partner, should I say, that I have a lot of confidence, and just reminding myself of that and getting the great feedback from people. It just takes experience and time. And at the end of the day, I was like, do I really care if people don't like me? Sure don't. If a client says, hey, I don't want to work with you, I'll probably never see them again. And that's totally fine. I don't vibe with everyone, but just being allowed to have that space has built up a lot of self-confidence, and seeing the success and the blessings that God has handed has just built that up even greater. I still work on it every day. It's
Okay.
not like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cured thing. It's still here, but that's, instead of being here, is down here. So
And just reflection of, these are like triggers for me to be like, yeah, there was definitely the confidence that's like, you can
yeah.
do this. You can, you are this smart, your numbers, because you would do like tons of broker price opinions, BPOs when we were
Mm-hmm.
doing all the REOs. So like knowing the numbers, but then
Yeah.
knowing what to say and then practicing it with, I'm having flashbacks where you would come with me to listing appointments and hear the same script, like hearing me say it over and over and over. So there's like practicing in our offices. You remember that?
Oh my gosh, yes, I do.
You know, practicing that.
So
And then
much
you
training.
go, right. And you go meet with somebody and it's like totally like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm on my own. And, and then to hearing you say, now you gave your space that not everybody is going to like you.
Yeah.
Not every, you're not going to like, you might not want to work with them either.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to move from that? Would you say it was like a fear or
Oh, 100% it was. Yeah. Be in someone's house and someone's space and like, I don't like you, getting up and leaving is a little awkward. So yeah, I mean, it's better, but it's not gone. I still feel like that's going to be something forever that I'm going to be working on. So
right. Okay.
it's just me.
Yeah. Did the
Yeah.
pressure, for a long time, so you were working the back office, it was kind of like a steady income.
Yeah.
Did the pressure of, hey, that steady income is going to be more transactional, so wasn't the steady income? Do you think that forced your hand to like
It
work through
did.
it? Like, were you living in a comfort zone?
100%. Yes. I was living in comfort zone and I just had to push through that. And I still get nervous when I'm driving to listing appointments and things like that. I'm talking to buyers, but I think I've found things that work for me, like talking to people over the phone and really diving into having those conversations on, you know, the buyer consultation or sellers in their specific scenarios, getting to know them as a person versus just like, here's the price of your house helps that nervousness. I'm not going to say fear anymore, just kind of grow smaller and doing things in my way, and watching other people. You kind of see, hey, they do things this way that may work great for them. That doesn't always work well for me. So I just had to find what works well for me.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, how did you break through that nervousness, that fear, and move like to breaking it through. What I'm hearing you say is like feeling comfortable with what you're going to say
Yeah.
to be, so you feel like prepared,
Yeah. Getting to
and
know the
then
people
getting to know
before,
the people.
yeah, especially over the phone. I'm way more confident when I know my subject matter, right? I know the person that I'm getting ready to talk to. I can relate to them on certain levels and then just go from there, right? Because you can be a great real estate agent, but at the end of the day, we all know people are going to work with you based on you and, your personality most of the time, right? So building that rapport and things like that is how I shine because real estate is great and we're really good at it. Thank God. But getting to know them as a person, I think, has helped me versus just, hey, I've got this listing appointment. I'm going to show up. I'm going to go. So those specific things have really helped. Getting to know the people versus just making it transactional has helped that nervousness go away or
Treating them,
diminish.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I love that because, and which means also like your lead sources that for me, introverts, picking up the phone and cold calling. Some people as an introvert are fine with that because it's a numbers game. And they're like, well, they don't
Yeah.
really know me right now, but going out and doing, I've seen you transition to like when for a long time I'd be like, come out and go to this event with me, come to this network event, do what I call, going out and shaking hands and kissing babies. And you're like, no, I am not doing that. But now now you're like going out to events and now,
Yeah.
what has been like, what was the breakthrough on that example? Like, what made you feel like, okay, I'm going to go do this?
I had success from doing it. And it just kind of like you're looking for that continued success. I'm still socially awkward when I like sometimes I'm at events. Like we went to one last week. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put my hands. I don't know, like, how to talk to people sometimes. And it's still awkward, but maybe like finding that one person there that, and you
Yeah.
can start a conversation. And then you're like, okay, cool, I can do this. Let me walk around and schmooze the room too. And I don't know. I've been told that my personality, people are like, you're super chill. I love it. So just trying to be myself and not imitating other people too and doing that is great. And then there's times where I still don't want to do it sometimes because it's a lot, especially when there's a whole bunch of people talking in a room. It's a little bit of a sensory overload, but just trying to do little things and fun things and choosing those events wisely. So, but I like it.
I mean, even myself, I'm like, I'm good one-on-one, I'm good in a small group. And, on the disc scale, my eye has been very high, but I have found, even with being a top producer and this and that, like when I go out, people, to events, like we'll go to an event or I'll go to an event and the people will recognize me. I still feel like I'm smaller in a room. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm not, I can stand on the stage, but to go work a room, it's a skill, it's a skill to know what to say, to be confident, to just go sit at a table where you don't know anybody and just be like, hi, I'm Kim, I'm this, I don't know any of you, but my goal is to meet you. So where are you from? You
I
know,
think I have the gift of sitting at a table and saying something really awkward to like break the ice. Like, I'm really nervous. It's weird. So I'm just going to sit here. Is that cool? And people are like, sure. And they make it not weird for me. So I appreciate that.
yeah. So, because everybody's, I mean, and like you said, find one person or go with a buddy.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't gone to a conference yet, but there's more to going to a conference. There's
Yeah.
travel, there's being around a good big group of people, you know,
Yeah.
that's its own thing. But moving forward, starting out, committing to going to something, is that kind of
Yeah.
how you know, how did you do on your first? I mean, I know that I've always known that you know your stuff, but how did it feel to go like on your own to go get those listing appointments? And then how does that feel now? Like, because you've
I
sold.
felt a little like I was going to throw up. Good. Really great after, like hell yeah. But then still at the same token, I want to throw up a little bit. And
Throw up a little less.
like huh? I need to leave. I need to calm down. I need to have my endorphins chill a little bit. It feels really good. It feels really good. So
Nice. Is
yeah.
there any lead sources that you're like, I still would never do this and not comfortable with?
Girl, I'm not door knocking. That's
Okay.
not my thing. It's not my thing. People love open houses too. I love that you love that other people love that, and that's great. But open houses just not my favorite. I just feel like and the way that I interact with other people, I can't get to know them as well. You know what I mean? I feel like people are a lot like quite standoffish, and while it may work great for other people, just me and my personality, sometimes it's not my favorite. So I try to navigate and move towards things that I shine at versus doing things that I just don't enjoy because I just don't enjoy doing them. And therefore I'm not good at it and don't have the best result. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so moving ahead, you found lead sources that you're comfortable with.
Hmm.
And, yeah. So any advice that you would share, like in your own words? I've asked like some questions, but like if you're listening right now and you're like, that's me, I'm introvert, I'm nervous about going on appointments, I'm nervous about how to
Yeah.
be successful as, somebody that would self-classify as an introvert, what would you leave them with as far as, you know, what would you leave them with?
I guess maybe not everything is going to be comfortable. Ooh, good Lord, it's not. And just maybe find what works for you. Do small things at a time. It doesn't have to be both feet in. You can start with a toe, and then slowly start doing things. And like you said, grab a friend and go out and do things that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable and just go from there.
Okay.
Maybe if you're prospecting and the phone's not your thing and calling people's not your thing, maybe found like a cool text template that you love and that seems to work, and maybe start with that, or start sending videos in text, or whatever you think, whatever makes you feel comfortable, just start somewhere.
Okay. You
Yeah.
hated videos for a long time.
Oh, it's still not my favorite thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Sometimes
you,
my face is awkward. My eyebrows do things like I don't know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well, I
not
know
my
one of the
favorite, but
things that, I want to talk about in another podcast is, growing a referral business. And I know that
yeah,
that's thing that's kind of come into your comfort zone because there's a warm transfer. So make
yeah,
sure that if you're listening, make sure to tune into more of the podcast because Christine and I are going to be talking about so many things as we've grown a business together. I've been in, since 2004. You joined me in 2009,
yeah.
and you had to get out of college and do all that. And so yeah, so if people want to, join you, like you see in your name there, Virginia and West Virginia expert, and then
Yeah,
also, there's you're with EXP Realty. How would
yeah.
people find you? What's the best way for people to find you or work with you, or how go ahead.
I mean, I would say just follow me. I'm not the biggest Facebook fan. So Instagram is definitely, and I have the link tree, whatever that thing's called, that has all my contact information. So just your realtor, Christine, all one word on Instagram, and it has my cell, everything. You can text me or call me, but that's probably the easiest way.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
want to do business in what, Northern Virginia
Yeah.
through, how would you describe it?
The Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia. So mostly Jefferson, around the Charlestown area, I guess, is what people know most. So that area and Martinsburg and a little bit of Berkeley Springs kind of out in that way is kind of where I go. I don't go down really past Woodbridge. It's too far for me, but Northern Virginia and the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia, and I love it.
Okay, so Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Loudoun, out towards like Frederick County, so like towns of Winchester,
Yeah.
Berryville, Percival. If you look on the map, all in that area, so good. And what about EXP? I know I want to just drop this seed because there might be a lot of people that relate to you. You're an EXP agent.
Yeah.
And then if somebody ever, I know you're the president of the Agent Advisory, so there's a huge leap. You went from
Yeah.
introvert to the president of the EXP Agent Advisory. So if somebody wanted to talk to you about that, they could also reach you on Instagram and talk to you about
Yeah.
all those. Okay,
Absolutely. Yeah.
good. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining. Hopefully everybody has gotten some takeaways. I know that I have a lot of notes and things that I didn't know. So I'm glad that you're willing to come out here and share because so
Yeah.
many people are nervous about putting themselves out there. And it's
Yeah.
not all extroverted people out there shaking hands and kissing babies. It takes all, because like you said, people like to work with who they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And the personality has to jive. and somebody that's like way in your face, even as the buyer or seller, and you're not somebody that's like that, it's going to be perhaps off-putting. So different personalities and styles and vibes are very, keep that in mind. So good. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
And hopefully anybody else, stay tuned, subscribe, because we're going to be continuing with Christine for quite a few great topics through our journey. And we will help you increase your success, become that $1 million agent, and be on the path. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining.